Have you ever felt like life is rushing by too quickly, each day repeating like an endless cycle? Have you ever longed for a true moment of peace but didn't know where to find it? Maybe peace isn't somewhere far away, it's right here, in the small moments we often overlook. We often believe that peace comes from quiet places, distant travels, or major life changes. But in reality, peace can be found in our everyday moments, when we eat, walk, talk, and work. Mindfulness is the key to realizing this. Imagine this, it's early morning, and you take slow, mindful steps. You feel the cool breeze against your skin, hear the birds singing in the crisp air, and for once, you're not thinking about work or worrying about tomorrow. You are simply present, fully immersed in the moment. This is mindfulness, a profound teaching of Buddha that helps us find peace amid life's chaos. Mindfulness isn't something distant or complex, and you don't need to abandon your current life to find inner calm. It's within our daily actions, in our breath, our steps, and our words. This video will dive deep into how to practice mindfulness according to Buddhist teachings, exploring ways to integrate mindfulness into daily life, and through that, discover genuine serenity without seeking it elsewhere. If you're looking for a way to live with less stress and more fulfillment, join me in exploring mindfulness in the simple moments around us. Let's begin. Chapter 1. What is mindfulness? Have you ever found yourself lost in thought while doing something ordinary, walking, eating, or even having a conversation, without truly being present? Life passes by in fleeting moments, and yet, we rarely pause to fully experience them. But what if, instead of rushing through life, we could learn to be truly aware, truly present, and in doing so, transform our relationship with happiness and suffering? Mindfulness, in its simplest form, is the practice of being fully aware in the present moment. It is seeing, feeling, and experiencing life as it unfolds, without distraction, judgment, or attachment. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is more than just being aware, it is the gateway to wisdom, a means of understanding life deeply and finding peace in the midst of joy and sorrow. For many people, especially those who have lived long years filled with loneliness, regret, or pain, mindfulness might feel like an elusive concept. How can awareness make a difference when one has already endured so much? The answer lies not in changing the past, but in transforming how we relate to the present. Living unconsciously versus living mindfully. Much of our suffering comes not from external circumstances but from the way our minds operate. We often live on autopilot, drifting through daily routines without truly experiencing them. We eat without tasting, talk without listening, and move through the day burdened by worries of the future or regrets of the past. This unconscious way of living can make us feel disconnected, even from ourselves. Think about the way most people begin their mornings. They wake up, check their phones, rush through breakfast, and move through the day without ever stopping to truly feel the warmth of the sunlight, hear the chirping of birds, or even acknowledge their own breath. The mind, constantly chasing thoughts, leaves no space for the present moment. Contrast this with a life of mindfulness. Imagine waking up and taking a slow, intentional breath, feeling the rhythm of life itself. As you walk, you feel the earth beneath your feet, appreciating every step instead of rushing forward mindlessly. When you eat, you savor each bite, recognizing the nourishment it brings, rather than simply consuming out of habit. Mindfulness is not about doing something extraordinary, it's about seeing the ordinary with clarity. It transforms a simple meal into an act of gratitude, a conversation into a moment of connection, and a breath into an experience of life itself. Mindfulness in the face of suffering. For those who have experienced deep emotional wounds, mindfulness can be both a refuge and a source of healing. Loneliness, sorrow, and regret are not easy burdens to carry. But Buddhism teaches that suffering does not need to define us. It is something we can observe, understand, and ultimately release. Imagine a person who has lived many years grieving for a lost loved one. Every day, their mind returns to memories, some beautiful, others painful, and yet, they feel trapped in those emotions. Through mindfulness, instead of drowning in sorrow, they begin to observe their grief without being consumed by it. They recognize the emotions as they arise, acknowledge their presence, and allow them to pass. Mindfulness does not erase pain, but it teaches us how to hold it gently, without resistance. It helps us realize that suffering comes not from the experience itself but from our attachment to it. By practicing awareness, we create space to breathe, to heal, and to slowly transform suffering into wisdom. Awakening to life as it is. Ultimately, mindfulness is an invitation to wake up, to truly see and experience life instead of merely existing within it. It allows us to move beyond unconscious patterns and embrace reality with open eyes. For those who have carried heavy burdens, mindfulness is a gentle guide that whispers, "You are here. You are alive. This moment is yours." And in that awareness, something shifts, perhaps a sense of peace, a moment of clarity, or simply the realization that life, despite its hardships, is still unfolding beautifully, one breath at a time. So breathe, feel, and awaken. The present moment is waiting for you. Chapter 2. Mindfulness in every step. Have you ever walked down a familiar path only to realize you barely noticed anything around you? Your feet moved, but your mind was elsewhere, lost in thoughts, worries, or memories. But what if walking wasn't just a means to get somewhere, but an opportunity to awaken, to truly experience life with each step? In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness is not limited to sitting meditation. It is meant to be carried into every movement, every breath, every step we take. Walking, standing, sitting, and lying down, these are not just routine actions but opportunities to anchor ourselves in the present moment, finding balance and clarity in the most ordinary activities. Walking meditation, the path to awareness. For most of us, walking is something we do unconsciously. We rush from place to place, barely aware of the ground beneath our feet or the sensations in our body. But in mindfulness practice, walking becomes a meditation. A way to reconnect with the present and cultivate inner peace. Begin by standing still for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet firmly touching the ground, the weight of your body evenly distributed. Then, as you step forward, bring full attention to the movement. Notice how the muscles in your legs shift, how your weight transitions, how the air moves around you. Each step is an invitation to be fully present, to leave behind distractions and truly experience the here and now. As you walk, silently remind yourself, "I am stepping forward, I am present. I feel the earth beneath me. I am breathing, I am alive." This practice transforms walking into a peaceful, grounding experience. Instead of walking with urgency, rushing toward a destination, you begin to walk with awareness, with intention, appreciating each movement as part of something greater. Standing in stillness, cultivating strength and stability. In moments of waiting. At a bus stop, in line at a store, or simply pausing between tasks, we rarely feel truly present. Our minds wander, jumping from thought to thought. But standing mindfully is a powerful practice that teaches us how to be rooted in the moment, without distraction. Try this, stand with your feet hip-width apart, feeling the weight evenly distributed. Take a slow breath, allowing your awareness to settle in your body. Feel your connection to the ground, the way gravity supports you. Instead of viewing standing as passive waiting, turn it into an act of presence. Notice your posture. Feel the sensation in your legs and feet. Observe the air around you, the sounds, the sensations on your skin. By standing mindfully, you train your body and mind to be calm, present, and stable, even in moments of stillness. Sitting meditation, finding peace in stillness. Sitting is often associated with work, waiting, or resting, but in mindfulness practice, sitting is an opportunity to cultivate awareness. Instead of letting your thoughts drift aimlessly, sitting meditation helps you center yourself, bringing focus and peace to the present. As you sit, straighten your spine, feeling the natural curve of your back. Place your hands gently on your lap. Close your eyes, or keep them softly focused on a single point. Shift attention to your breath, each inhale and exhale, flowing naturally without force. If thoughts arise, acknowledge them gently but return to your breath. If discomfort appears, observe it rather than react to it. If emotions come up, allow them to exist without judgment. Through this practice, sitting becomes a sanctuary, a moment to pause, reflect, and return to yourself amid the chaos of daily life. Lying down meditation, letting go and finding rest. Lying down is often associated with rest, sleep, or exhaustion. But mindful resting is not just about physical relaxation, it is about letting go, surrendering fully to the present moment. As you lie down, feel the support beneath your body, the way the earth holds you completely. Scan your body slowly, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, noticing each sensation. As you breathe, imagine tension dissolving, replaced by a feeling of lightness and ease. Mindful resting is a way to reset, allowing yourself to experience true stillness without resistance. Instead of fighting fatigue or restlessness, you embrace the simplicity of simply being. Transforming daily movements into meditation. Mindfulness is not just something we practice. It is something we live. Every movement, no matter how small, is an opportunity to cultivate presence. Whether walking to work, standing in a quiet moment, sitting at your desk, or lying down at the end of the day, there is always a way to bring mindfulness into your actions. Rather than rushing through life unconsciously, slow down. Feel the moment. Experience each movement with awareness. Through this simple yet profound practice, you will find that peace is not a distant goal, it is already within you, waiting to be discovered, step by step. Chapter 3. Eating with mindfulness, nourishing both body and mind. How often do we eat in a rush, barely tasting our food, distracted by thoughts or screens? We consume, but do we truly nourish ourselves? What if every bite could be an act of presence, a moment of peace? Eating is one of the most fundamental acts of life. It sustains us, keeps us healthy, and connects us to nature, family, and tradition. Yet, in the modern world, meals often become hurried routines, something we do while working, scrolling on our phones, or lost in thought. We eat without truly experiencing the food, consuming mindlessly, unaware of the colors, textures, and flavors before us. Buddhist teachings remind us that eating is not just about feeding the body, it is an opportunity to nourish the mind, cultivate gratitude, and practice mindfulness in its purest form. When we eat with awareness, every bite becomes an experience, every meal a meditation. Eating on autopilot versus eating mindfully. Most of us eat unconsciously. We shovel food into our mouths while watching TV, scrolling through our phones, or thinking about work. We barely chew, barely taste, barely appreciate what is nourishing us. Over time, this habit can disconnect us from our own bodies, leading to unhealthy eating patterns and emotional distress. Contrast this with mindful eating. Imagine sitting at the table and pausing before your first bite, taking in the colors and scents of the meal. Imagine chewing slowly, feeling the texture of each bite, truly tasting the flavors instead of rushing through them. In this moment, you are not distracted by external worries. You are simply present, fully engaged in the act of nourishing yourself. Eating mindfully transforms food into more than just fuel. It becomes a bridge to gratitude, awareness, and inner peace. The Buddhist approach to eating. In many Buddhist traditions, monks and practitioners view each meal as an opportunity for mindfulness and reflection. Before eating, they often recite a short reflection of gratitude, acknowledging the sources of their food, the earth, the farmers, the cooks, and all beings that made the meal possible. This simple act shifts the mindset from consumption to appreciation. Instead of eating out of habit, they eat with deep awareness, recognizing the interconnectedness of life. You don't have to be a monk to practice this. Before your next meal, take just a moment to reflect. Where did this food come from? Who worked to bring it to my plate? How does it nourish my body and mind? This practice cultivates gratitude, turning meals into an experience of connection and appreciation rather than routine. The art of eating slowly and fully present. Eating quickly often leads to overconsumption, discomfort, and even emotional eating. Slowing down, however, gives your body time to register hunger and fullness cues, making it easier to eat in a way that is healthy and balanced. Try this. Eating with awareness of emotions. Many people turn to food for comfort, not because they are hungry, but because they are seeking emotional relief. Stress, loneliness, sadness, these emotions can lead to unconscious eating, using food as an escape rather than nourishment. Mindful eating invites us to observe our emotions without letting them control our actions. Before eating, take a breath and ask yourself, am I truly hungry, or am I eating out of habit or emotion? How do I feel right now? Will this food truly nourish me, or am I seeking comfort elsewhere? This simple self-inquiry allows us to bring awareness to emotional eating habits, helping us choose food with intention rather than impulse. The deeper meaning of eating mindfully. Eating is one of the few activities that directly connects us to the physical world. The food we eat comes from nature, from the hands of others, from the labor and care of many beings. Mindful eating honors this connection, reminding us that nourishment is a gift, a cycle of life in which we participate every day. Instead of rushing through meals, embrace the act of eating as a meditation. Through mindfulness, food becomes more than just sustenance. It becomes a gateway to gratitude, awareness, and a peaceful mind. So, before your next meal, pause. Breathe. Savor. Because every bite is an opportunity to awaken. Chapter 4. Mindful speech, speaking with awareness and compassion. Have you ever regretted something you said? Maybe words slipped out in frustration, or you spoke without thinking, only to realize later how deeply they affected someone. Speech has immense power. It can heal or hurt, uplift or tear down. What if we could transform our communication into something more conscious, compassionate, and meaningful? In Buddhist teachings, words are not just sounds, they are reflections of our mind and heart. Every sentence we speak carries intention, energy, and impact. Practicing mindful speech is about bringing awareness into our conversations, ensuring that what we say aligns with wisdom, kindness, and integrity. In an age where words are exchanged rapidly, through texts, emails, and social media, mindful communication becomes more essential than ever. It is not just about avoiding harmful words, but about speaking in a way that nurtures understanding and deepens connections. The power of words, how speech shapes reality. We often underestimate how much words affect the people around us. A single compliment can brighten someone's day, while one careless remark can linger for years. Words create emotional landscapes. They shape relationships, influence moods, and even alter our own perceptions of life. Think about conversations with loved ones. Have you ever noticed how the tone of a discussion can shift instantly based on the words chosen? A moment of anger can escalate into conflict, but a moment of patience can diffuse tension. Mindfulness in speech is not about controlling others, it is about controlling ourselves, ensuring that our words arise from a place of clarity and compassion rather than impulsive reactions. Practicing mindful speech, the Buddhist approach. Buddhism offers a simple yet profound guideline for speech, known as the 5 mindful speech practices. 1. Speak with truth, only say what is honest and sincere. 2. Speak with kindness, choose words that bring comfort, not harm. 3. Speak with usefulness, ensure that what you say adds value or clarity. 4. Speak with timeliness, know when to speak and when silence is more powerful. 5. Speak with mindfulness, be aware of how your words affect yourself and others. Each conversation becomes an opportunity for self-awareness, a way to cultivate deeper presence in daily interactions. Controlling speech in moments of anger. Anger is one of the most challenging emotions to control in communication. When we are hurt, frustrated, or stressed, words can become weapons instead of bridges. But mindful speech teaches us how to pause, breathe, and respond rather than react. A simple practice is to wait before speaking when emotions are heightened. Take a deep breath before responding. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say helpful or hurtful? If emotions are too strong, step away, return to the conversation later. Mindfulness reminds us that words spoken in anger often create regret, whereas words spoken with clarity create resolution. The practice of listening with awareness. Mindful speech is not just about talking, it is also about listening deeply. Often, we listen just to respond, rather than to truly understand. Practicing mindful listening means giving full attention to the speaker, without distraction. Observing not just words, but tone and emotions. Pausing before responding, ensuring clarity and kindness. When we listen mindfully, communication becomes more authentic, strengthening relationships rather than creating misunderstandings. Transforming everyday conversations into mindfulness. Mindful speech is not a skill reserved for monks or meditation practitioners. It is something we can apply in every interaction, whether speaking to colleagues, family, or strangers. Before your next conversation, ask yourself, can I bring more kindness and patience into my words? Am I speaking with awareness, or just reacting unconsciously? How can my speech bring more peace into this moment? Through this practice, words become more than just sounds, they become sources of healing, wisdom, and connection. So the next time you speak, pause. Breathe. Choose your words with presence. Because every sentence is an opportunity to bring light into the world. Chapter 5. Working with mindfulness, cultivating clarity and presence. How often do we work while feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or disconnected? We push through tasks, rushing from one thing to the next, barely noticing how we feel. But what if work wasn't just about getting things done, but also about experiencing peace, focus, and fulfillment? For many of us, work is synonymous with pressure. Deadlines, responsibilities, expectations, they all contribute to a state of constant mental agitation. We often find ourselves lost in thought, worrying about the future, or replaying past mistakes. As a result, work becomes exhausting, not just physically but emotionally. Buddhist teachings remind us that mindfulness is not limited to meditation or quiet moments. It is something we can bring into every aspect of life, including our work. Practicing mindfulness in work means learning to stay present, avoiding distraction, and approaching tasks with full awareness rather than stress. The cycle of distraction versus mindful working. Most people work in a state of mental fragmentation. They start a task, but within minutes, their minds wander, checking emails, scrolling social media, thinking about unfinished projects or personal worries. This cycle of distraction not only reduces productivity but also creates a sense of dissatisfaction. Contrast this with mindful working. Imagine sitting down at your desk, taking a breath before starting, and fully engaging in each task. There is no rush, no mental clutter, just you, the present moment, and the work in front of you. Instead of battling distraction, you cultivate clarity. Instead of reacting to stress, you respond with balance. Bringing mindfulness into work, the practical approach. Mindfulness at work is not about working less, but about working with presence. Here are 3 simple ways to integrate it into your daily routine. 1. Start the day with intention. Before beginning work, take a moment to set an intention. Today, I will work with clarity and focus. 2. Work with full presence. Choose one task at a time, eliminating distractions, and bringing your full attention to what you're doing. 3. Pause between tasks. Instead of rushing from one thing to another, take a breath. Notice how you feel. Reset your focus before moving forward. Each of these steps helps create a sense of balance, preventing burnout and making work feel more meaningful and less draining. Mindfulness in moments of stress. Work stress is inevitable: tight deadlines, unexpected problems, high expectations. But stress does not have to overwhelm us. Mindfulness teaches us how to observe stress without becoming consumed by it. Try this practice. When stress rises, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Acknowledge what you're feeling instead of resisting it. Ask yourself, is this stress helping me, or is it distracting me? Shift focus back to the present task rather than future worries. Through this approach, stress loses its grip. It becomes a passing emotion rather than a force that dictates how we work. The art of single tasking. Many people believe multitasking increases productivity, but studies show the opposite. Multitasking splits attention, making it harder to work efficiently. Mindful work encourages single tasking, fully engaging in one thing at a time. Next time you work, try this. Turn off unnecessary notifications to reduce distractions. Set a time block to focus on one task completely. Observe how your mind reacts. Is there resistance, or does deep focus bring calm? When you practice single tasking, work feels smoother, more manageable, and surprisingly enjoyable. Finding fulfillment in work through mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness in work is not just about efficiency, it is about fulfillment. Work is a significant part of life. Instead of seeing it as a burden, mindfulness allows us to approach it with curiosity, presence, and meaning. By staying grounded in each task, we shift from just working to truly experiencing our work. So next time you sit down to work, pause, breathe, and be present. Because true productivity begins with awareness. Conclusion: finding inner peace through mindfulness. We often search for peace in distant places, waiting for the perfect moment to feel truly at ease. But what if peace isn't somewhere out there? What if it's already within us, waiting to be discovered in the simple, everyday moments we often overlook? Mindfulness is not about escaping reality, it's about awakening to it. It teaches us that peace isn't found in external achievements, but in how we live each day. Through mindful awareness, we learn to appreciate the present, whether walking, eating, working, or speaking with others. Every action becomes an opportunity to anchor ourselves in the now, breaking free from distractions and emotional burdens. In the practice of mindful walking, we discover how each step can ground us, reminding us that we don't always need to rush forward. Sometimes, simply being is enough. Mindful eating shifts the way we experience food, turning each meal into an act of gratitude rather than mere consumption. Mindful speech teaches us the power of words, guiding us to communicate with kindness and wisdom rather than reaction. And when we bring mindfulness into our work, even the busiest days can transform into moments of clarity, helping us work not just harder, but more meaningfully. True peace isn't something we have to search for, it emerges naturally when we slow down, breathe, and reconnect with the present. Mindfulness is not a distant goal but a daily practice, shaping the way we see, feel, and experience life itself. So wherever you are right now, pause. Take a deep breath. Feel this moment fully. Because the peace you seek has always been here, it only asks that you notice it.